Your ability to empathize with others will transform your relationships and will transform the quality of your life. Empathy is the ticket towards breeding compassion and cutting through conflict. Empathy allows you not to take things personally. Empathy allows you to address your own needs and address the needs of the other person, thereby cutting through what is said and getting to what is needed. What is this person really trying to communicate? And the more you're able to empathize with others, the more space that you can create for yourself and the more compassion you can show yourself as a result. Uh, there's a man called Carl Rogers. Now, he was a psychologist back in the 1950s and 60s, and he pioneered the use of empathy in the therapeutic space. And he spoke about how it's very easy for us to judge others based on what they say. So if someone says something, we might think, oh, yep, they're right, or what they said was stupid, doesn't make sense, it's not appropriate, it's abnormal. We have this ability to judge others based on what they say. Yet we have to almost allow ourselves and give permission to ourselves to go beyond that judgment and actually understand, where are they coming from? What are they trying to say? Or what's the meaning they're trying to get across by saying this thing? Because it's very easy for us to hear something, hear a bunch of words, and judge that person because we are taking meaning from the words through our lens, rather than, well, this person's the one saying it. What do they mean? And in order to understand what they mean, that requires empathy, which is essentially putting yourself aside in some sense and stepping into the other person's shoes, understanding and being curious about what they meant, where they're coming from, how they're feeling. Because all of these determinants, like feeling, emotion, background, culture, whatever it is, all of these impact the way that we take meaning from our world. So having empathy is our ability to say, it's not about me, it's not about what I take meaning or how I take meaning. This person said something. What do they mean by it? So if they say something and we think, oh, that's stupid, well, we think that's stupid because that's how we perceive it. But I'm sure that's not the intention that they had in their message. And none of us want to be called stupid. You know, we take that personally. We feel that our ego starts to get bruised and damaged. Our self-esteem can get low. So if someone says something and you're saying that's stupid and you communicate it as such, you are going to cause conflict because you've stayed with what they've said, but you've not dug deeper into what do they mean? What's the message they're trying to get across? Because to you, in your perception, in your frame of mind, it sounds stupid. It may not to them. So they've communicated something that for them has meaning and relevance, yet you've interpreted it as it's stupid. It's as in, it's a complete rejection of what they're trying to get across. It's a complete, not only that, it's a complete rejection of them as an individual, because this is an expression of how they see the world. So when it's rejected, that's very painful and it will cause defensiveness and conflict. And in order to cut through that, is if that's in your interest, to relate with others better, to improve the ability to show yourself compassion in the longer run, it is about cutting through that. All right, I personally don't agree with what they've said, but let me dig further and be curious as to what they mean. And so now you are entering a zone where you are showing curiosity and interest without judgment, and you're asking, what do you mean by that? I'm curious. I'm a bit confused what you mean. I wonder, could you tell me more? Even just that, can you tell me more? The other person's like, oh my God, wow, this person's actually interested in what I have to say. They want to know more. And so even that attempt to want to understand more shows an inquisitiveness and interest. You're deepening a connection, and there's less likely going to be this conflict and defensiveness going back and forth. So if you find yourself in relationships where you engage in conflicts all the time, it's probably because you are staying with what is being said rather than the meaning or the need behind what is being said. And it's very difficult to do that if that other person is not addressing your needs either, because you're thinking, this is not fair. Why should I be the one doing that? They're not even reciprocating. But with persistence and with time, it's very hard for someone to keep engaging in conflict when the other person is just showing empathy without judgment and regulating their emotions. Because at some point, the conflict is not going to work. It'll be like, you know what? I'm not getting what I want. This is not working. They're just showing me compassion. And at some point, those defensive barriers will start breaking down, and the person will learn to become more vulnerable, because they're learning it's safe for me to become vulnerable with this person. It's safe for me to share with this person. So I just want to finish by saying that it's very rare that we go beyond our initial judgment to really understand what the person is trying to say. And when we feel the judgment, even if we don't communicate it, because now this is in our mind and that's our frame of reference, it can impact the way we relate to other people. You know how you feel and you know how you think. Cut through that to understand, how does the other person feel or think? What's the meaning that they have? And when you try that, even if you're not successful, the very fact that you're attempting to do that will start to transform the way you relate to others. And as a result, the way you relate and show compassion to yourself. Thank you for watching.